next poem is called George Orwell and Eleanor Roosevelt Absorb the Sea. On the island Jura, Eleanor, I had no hens, no eggs to gather. I was in a fever state from these pocked lungs and my need to finish my novel about the future. We both deeply turned to work after our loss, didn't we, George? I suppose we tried to reconcile the deaths of our spouses against the multitudes gone from war. We were compelled to examine the root causes. You took to the global stage while I told fictions about power's reality. At Jura, the sea touched every part of the island. No day was the same for its watered variations. Like human nature or birds, right, friend? Let's be quiet for a bit. No journaling either. Just listen to the sea, regulate its breathing, and watch gulls challenge the wind. And this next poem was inspired by Article 16 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was spearheaded by Eleanor Roosevelt. And Article 16 essentially says, love is love is love. And this poem is called On the Wall, Two Mourning Doves and Another. On the wall, two doves face the horizon, their wings lightly touching. Occasionally, one wiggles and the other adjusts. A third dove settles 2 or 3 bricks away, interloper or welcomed acquaintance. An hour passes, and now the doves form a row. From any vantage point, one might surmise that this is a scheduled visit. Togetherness must be felt by the parties involved and perceived by those in the theater as believable. What is noticeable? A myriad of other birds come and go, and not one of them attempts to separate this trio of lovers or family or both, and the sky doesn't even fall.
So I'm coming to you from Alabama, which you may not know is the most biodiverse state in the U.S., primarily because of all the creatures that live in the water here. We have lots of snails, we have lots of fishes and mussels, and I grew up on a river, but now I live on a ridge far away from like really any body of water. So I'm really fascinated by the closest like body of water that's nearby my house on the ridge, which is a puddle in the middle of the dirt road. And so this poem is about that puddle. It's called Ephemeral Pool. Ephemeral pool means it won't always be here. Means puddle said in a highfalutin way. Means the sun and soil shot back this water like dirt daubers and bees, like the coyote and turkey who tracked through the middle to drink it up. Biodiverse is another way of saying rain pooled on a dirt road atop a ridge in Alabama. It's a nod of respect to tadpoles shimmying and turning their opal bellies up to catch the light, and the mosquito larvae flicking tail against head to dive and surface. It means that in a single drop, there's a galaxy of single-celled creatures thriving in delicate silica walls, just as they did when dinosaurs splashed through puddles. Their bodies are glass houses, is what some say. Maybe we should all say, when we look to diatoms and ask how to love our neighbors enough to keep from throwing stones.
Nice to be here, coming to you from Southern California. And I'm just gonna read one poem. It's called, sometimes poems, this is a poem that just sort of came to me. Sometimes best poems just happen to you, I think. It's called 36 Text Messages and 16 Missed Calls. 50 strangers are trying to reach me. They all want to know about 7 boxes of laminate that someone, not me, is giving away on Craigslist. The flooring is somewhere in Sacramento. They leave me their contact info. The inquiries range from casual, hey, my name's Jose, do you still have the boxes? To formal, good evening, I'm interested in the flooring. Some of them take a pleading tone. If you still have the flooring, I'll come and get it right now, triple question mark. One person says, I need flooring desperately. A lady named Dee writes a warm message signed, thank you very much. Linda writes twice. Ed seems pretty chill. I can take those off your hands. They are in Fair Oaks, Folsom, Citrus Heights. They are ready to come and get all 7 boxes of laminate flooring tomorrow morning, tonight, right now. They've been ready since yesterday, and they don't know why they haven't yet heard back from me. They are friendly, cordial. They have learned my name from my voicemail greeting, so they say, hi, Chloe. Hi, Carly. Hello, Cleo. Hey, Cole. I can hear Cassandra's kids in the background, everyone so full of hope. Everyone thanking me in advance. On Craigslist Sacramento, I find my listing. I ask the person who really is offering all that flooring for free to please correct the phone number so that at least one of these 52 people so far, of whom I've become quite fond, even protective, might be able to have what they wish for, gleaming new floors. May we all catch a little free beauty sometimes. May at least one of our earnest, desperate, hopeful calls be rewarded with bounty, with gifts unearned and earned, with free laminate flooring, enough to make one room at least like new.
I'm only going to do one poem for 3 minutes tonight, and I'm going to respect and do the time limit and the time limit that the host has prescribed for all of us. And I'm dedicating my portion of tonight's open mic to 2 of the regulars of Poets Corner. Tonight's feature and Poets Corner's own tech person, Kim Trainer.
Woo!
And another regular of Poets Corner from Toronto, I believe. The self-described white woman of color herself, Nefertiti. I dedicate this portion of the mic to y'all. And I'm going to use the share screen feature. See that picture there? Anyone who was born after 1950 know who this black gentleman is. And the poem I'm about to do comes from my 3rd book, Stormwater Poems, 2012 to 2016. From page 33, the poem happens to be about the gentleman in this picture. This is called Turnaround. 180-degree turnaround made several times in one lifetime. From numbers runner and burglar breaking into mansions of moneyed white men, to writer and Muslim messenger reaching into the hearts of defeated black men. From hepcat in a scarlet zoot suit strutting over Boston bricks, later NYC, to harsh judge holding court over the MIC, charging the Caucasian with being the greatest kidnapper, murderer, robber, enslaver, swine eater on this earth. From just another criminal and prisoner in the American nightmare, someone else's dream, to an amazing, powerful, needed critic of American hypocrisy, another's democracy, tearing the veil clean off for African eyes to see. From a servant of separation in the person of Elijah Muhammad in Harlem, that's in New York City, folks, to a servant of unity who embraced the true Muhammad in Mecca. From being Detroit Red to Brother Malcolm, to El Haj Malik El Shabazz, who dropped his old name, long chained to his ancestral slave master's whip hand. Shifty Negro turned strong black man, who joined all sexes and races, including his own people, also mine, against the true threat to humanity, which silenced his voice, but not his messages. This divisive nation, the USA, as it stands, by any means necessary.
Poem is called Deniers. Deniers can't face up to wearing masks. In toxic talk, they pan the pandemic, conspire to spread their venal venom, feeding their voracious appetite for fascism. with a face of freedom, to do or die as the die is cast in mass graves, swearing oath takers, boys that are proud, clan destiny, an ode to soldiers, conspiratorial canons, numerous noxious nasties, the natural order of chauvinist supremacy, their immunity from legal constraints gives entitlement to covertly covet COVID.
The sliding sea. They walk hand in hand, backs turned to us, and all the green that ever was spreads its fragrance at our feet. They walk away, and will we see them again? We were born in deep waters. They walk heads bowed towards the ocean, and soon it will roll over them, over us. Earth is tipping. It will slide into the swell noiselessly. And however we call, they will walk, backs turned to us, into the wind, white with salt, into the blinding crash of tides, and they won't hear us, and we will follow.
I have a poem called Abrasax. I'm up for the scramble for planets and moons with Elon, Jeff, and the other tech lords, but I've planned better, not crazy enough to fall in with their wacko ambitions to land on chunks of sterile, pockmarked rock, where lack of gravity and so much else sees organs, bones, and muscles wrecked in months. What kind of life can be imagined there compared with Mother Earth's enfolding warmth? Well, we have co-evolved with all this stuff. I'll be ahead of their absurd ambitions to make Earth's moon or Mars or gloomy Ceres worth visiting more than once to look around. Lethal to attempts at colonizing, everything impossibly has to work perfectly always, and the crap weather. My abrasax rocket, propelled spacewards by massive improbability drives, has delivered me to a neat planet discovered by newly interpreting the Babylonian star catalogues, the Elamite tablet of Amizdaku, and hitherto misunderstood miscalculations of the sublime Chaldean Saras cycle. Though landing was tricky and the place damp, a vast ocean with one patch of dry land, an equatorial island the size of Ireland, the planet Abrasax welcomes us home. On this gleaming Cassite horse of the sun, this archon of the spheres of Uranus, this utopian dream of Basilides, a second Eden will soon develop. The sweet warm rain falls in sunshine, fields packed tight with wheat and barley, the island fringed with silver beaches and gray cliffs falling to the ocean, rich in clamorous seabirds, low-rise towns in the green valleys where the young and old at dusk walk by the rivers.
I recently wrote a poem for Contemporary Verse 2, CV2's contest, where you have a set number of words. So there's some strange words in this poem, and that's why. And this poem actually took 4 minutes to read, so I'm taking some out, but it fits with the theme of the environment, and it's based on a true story of what I do every evening, which is I go and collect bottles and clean up the park. So on my scavenging route, grabber stick under my arm, I palm open the lid of a semi-locked garbage bin. Pandemic masks bolter around my stick's claw. I pluck a few cans from runny brown gunk in the near empty bin. I move along. I fling open an unimprisoned lid, see a promising liquor store bag and rip it open. Something squirts upward. So far, I have perfected the trifecta of avoiding dog do diapers and frequent dildos. In sheer, it's true. In sheer dread, I pull my gloved fingers through on the blue latex. I am relieved to see an unnaturally bright yellow. I think of all the clothing I find in the bins, the sheer waste, because almost all pieces I find are in great shape. I take them home, wash and dry on hot, then wear, gift, or donate where COVID-19 rules still allow. I saw a documentary about cotton production being our world's #1 waste of water, the fashion industry being our globe's top polluter. But I open to the Nat Geo I find in the bin to a photo of Ulaanbaatar, capital of Mongolia, and gasp with a cry that no one there would want to be. New Bivigant, the clouds, Dijon mustard colored, the good grainy kind. But these brown speckles are sowing seeds of a great fraternity hazing. In the picture, an eternity of smog, ash, car exhaust, and fumes. Under the info, it says it is wafting from as far as the Aral Sea, which is drying up to feed the textile industry and is reported as our greatest humanity-made catastrophe. I close the magazine. I'm about to go get that big bag of clothes. As I approach, I see a vehicle pull up to a bin nearby. The well-dressed driver hops out, drags 2 clear jumbo bags. I can see from where I am, chock-a-block with clothes. He spends a few minutes smooshing them into the bin. Still, the lid won't close. I shut my eyes, breathe in and out. I blink, and the bright white clouds, cozied in baby blue, have given sway to a navy black backdrop. The recognizable Queen's Park resident gets back in his fancy auto and whizzes away. I thought I heard from a wizened bat who whizzed by a wire, New Bivigant. What's that I hear? Oh no, not here.
My poem tonight is called The Perils of an Urban Biker. Apocryphal stories of being doored or the right turn crush. 45, downhill, no tailwind, no safety netting. When a blacked out SUV with no empathy crosses into the bike lane, I take a sight line on the wormhole between chrome bumper and concrete curb. Biker Crown is safe with the discovery of a new way to die.
Time on a rocket. Well, there you are. As usual, I have got left behind as technology has pushed forward in leaps and bounds, by which I take it bounds are longer than leaps. Time is just walking past me. I'm getting older and slower, and he is getting younger and faster. Don't know what his hurry is, but he refuses to wait for me. And I'm sitting on an airline at the rear of row on row of similar seats, all filled by similar travelers with similar needs and wants and fears. And now we are floating in space, along with Earth's own satellite debris and useless shit that once made humans comfortable down there, with its once sparkling oceans and seas and once pure rivers now filled with dead fish and plastics. And now we are headed for Mars, that once mysterious bald planet recently seconded as a desert refuge for us failed humans who hadn't the wit to respect the fragility of home. Space debris streaks by like close-up shooting stars that threaten to annihilate our inconsequential little ship. So magnificent they were, as seen from Mother Earth, but startlingly frightening 6 meters from your window by your satellite seat as they rocket along, assembling like a vindictive, revengeful army of destruction. Yes, time is just walking past me, I sit shedding my memories as it speeds ahead, burning my history, erasing me from my own relevance, even as I spit spiteful objections. Ah, the rocket burns out. There goes all memory of me and my kind. Oh, but must not while away my day, must achieve something today, must become part of the fray, fighting for peace, fighting for peace this day.